we respectfully acknowledge the Nyoongar people as the traditional owners of the land in which this video was filmed.
Hi, I'm Crystal Kinsella. I'm a proud Jawa and Wiradjuri woman, a supply diversity expert and published author. Welcome to Meet the Mob, a YouTube series dedicated to showcasing Black excellence in business. Here I get to interview deadly First Nation business owners from around the country and learn about their why. Today I'm joined by Des Headland from Spartan First, who will share with us his why he got into business and why he does what he does. So let's kick it off. How you going, Des?
Nyoongar-Yamatji, how are you?
Yeah, really good. Well, tell us who you are. Who's your mob?
Yeah, well, obviously, a lot of my connection comes from Nyoongar-Yamatji connection. So the southwest of WA, obviously here in Whadjuk country, and north of Perth, the Ewart mob, and also got some Yamatji Mulgana, which is Shark Bay region. So
that's a bit further up north.
North, yeah, but 8-hour drive. So just 4 hours north of Geraldton, the main sort of the city country region from that area. So yeah, it's bit of a mix, but also with Swedish heritage as well, hence the name Headland. So a bit of a mix in there, so it's good.
Yeah, I think we've all got a little bit of a mix
absolutely.
here or there. Well, it's the first time us meeting, so it's really great to have you on the show. So look, my opening question's always about, tell us your why. Like, what's driving you to get out of bed each day and do what you do?
Oh, look, we're in the health sector, and obviously Spartan First is one of my businesses. I've got a couple other small entities that I delve into with my family and community, but with Spartan, we're a health business, and we're an Aboriginal-owned business, but we're a mainstream service. So the opportunity to be delivering quality healthcare to the sector, not just in the mining sector, we do primary healthcare, mental health and wellbeing as well. So and we deliver that for our communities, for the schools, for regions here in Perth and throughout WA. But just getting up and understanding that you can create an opportunity for an individual to first get good health checks, but then get employed. Yeah. So we're working in that sort of closing the gap initiatives in terms of health and employment and education as well. So that's sort of a why. But I just love getting up and doing what I can do best, and getting the kids all sorted. I've got two of my kids working for me as well in the businesses, and they're going very well, and they love to see opportunity as well. So
fantastic. Well, there's such a need when we look at the health statistics for blackfellas, and you mentioned there the closing the gap, but to be an Aboriginal business delivering mainstream health services, I just think it's really phenomenal. I had a look at your website, and
when you think about it like that, it's great. And I think the best thing you do is when you walk into a few of our clinics and you have, especially Kalgoorlie, we've got 2 Wongai girls as our nurses that are delivering all the health checks and all the medical requirements for the big mining companies through the goldfields. And you look around sitting in the waiting room, and there's all non-Aboriginal people getting checked up by our mob. And then also you look back and you see the community members coming in through the job active space and getting opportunity to get into work, getting employment, and making sure that economic value back to community too. So health and wellbeing is a major part of that. So.
Yeah. And is there a particular member of your family or is there a story that kind of sits behind why you chose to go in the health industry?
Not so much in the health industry. It was more the opportunity of seeing a bit of a gap. My business partner had an opportunity to work in the health industry with one of our competitors now. I was a CEO, and he saw a gap, and another Aboriginal man too, and he approached me. We're both doing some native title work and business development through the regions here in WA, and he's like, "Mate, have you ever thought about looking at these medical space?" I'm like, "Yeah, explain more to me." And he's like, like your job fit and Sonic doing and so forth. I'm going, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea." And my previous history working in construction with Rusker Brothers Services over years and sending people off for medicals and make sure they're fit for the role. And I sort of had a sort of idea what sort of industry we're going into. And he sold the pitch to me. I loved it. And in the back of my mind, I did have the opportunity of creating good healthcare for our people. But you got to make a dollar to make a difference, and we're starting to get to that phase now where we're giving back to our community. We do a lot of 715 health checks for Madala scholarship holders, over 450 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander kids that come to private schools here in Perth, which is fantastic, and we get to see them flourish in life and education.
Yeah, well, you've really jumped on, I guess, the market need, particularly when you think about, every time someone's going to go on site on a mine site, they've got to have their medical assessment, their health check, and then through the schooling as well, particularly kids at on Clontarf and and other boarding schools and things like that having their checks?
No, that's right. And we don't really go into the 715s or the Indigenous health checks too much because our Aboriginal medical services do a fantastic job, and that's their bread and butter. But we like to help where we can and help, with infrastructure and services where we can provide our doctors and our nurses, where some of our community and regional areas are sometimes lacking with infrastructure. We've opened up in Newman, in the Pilbara, Kalgoorlie, Bunbury as our regional centres, and they seem to work very well at the moment. And we like to give opportunity where we can, and currently at the moment we're doing that, and we've just got our first scholarship holder for an Aboriginal lady doctor that's studying medicine. So we're putting her through university at the moment, and that's sort of our first initiative, and we're really excited to see where we can grow that for more. So that's what sort of makes that's your why as well, a bit of a passion, and that getting healthcare and more doctors and nurses and psychologists into private Aboriginal health businesses. We've always had the AMSs and public health sector there, and why can't we have private health sector as well, which we're looking at doing, or we are doing currently. So.
Creating that opportunity for that scholarship is fantastic. And you mentioned before having 2 of your children working within the business. I mean, that's just what it's all about, is being the role model, creating the pathways, creating those opportunities.
No, exactly right. And, my dad, one of 18, as most Aboriginal families have big families, and he's one of the youngest too. And one thing that stuck in my mind that he always said to me, even through my AFL career, my footy career, to make it to that level, was whenever you have kids, you make sure they see you get up every morning and having a purpose in life, whether that's going to work or studying or just cleaning the house up and doing the gardening. So I've made sure I've done that from day one. And my oldest daughter, she's nearly 23, and my boys are 21 and 17. So they're the oldest two are well and truly working within the organisation, and they're training themselves up in the certain aspects of what they can deliver as well, and looking forward to see what they do in their life as well. So.
And so you mentioned your AFL career, and you played for Brisbane, you played for Fremantle. What's that transition been like from being the sports legend to then going into business?
I wouldn't say a sports legend, but I participated. No. Look, I think it's, don't get me wrong, it gives you opportunity to get to the table and have a conversation, with the industry, but you have to have a great capability and service to be able to deliver what you're talking about. I remember back in the early days when I was in Brisbane, Richard Champion actually was one of the older players, and he's good fellow. He always said to us boys that footy won't last forever. When you're young, you never think of that. But when you go to all these events, make sure you network and grab their business cards, because you never know, you might need them one day. And that's always stuck in my mind as a 17, 18-year-old. And when I retired, before I retired in 2010, I actually ventured into my first business and didn't go too well. And went very, very sour quickly. So, lost the house out of it, and had to put a bit of effort in to get that back up and going again. So there are ups and downs in business, but have an AFL career, and people are loving the sport, especially over in West Australia. You can get to the table and have a conversation, but unless you've got the capabilities and the service and the know-how and the back end support to be able to deliver that opportunity, then it doesn't mean nothing really. So I've been able to build that over the last sort of 10 years, and business is up and down, but as I said earlier, you always want to give back to community. That's the mindset we have in our community, and we've got to make a dollar to make a difference, and that's where we're at the moment. As long as you can do that, and we're happy that what we're doing at the moment, especially with organisations like Madala. Madala is called Making a Difference and Looking Ahead. They have over 450 kids in scholarships throughout WA, from the top of the Kimberleys to the south of Albany and everywhere in between, out to the desert. It's just an amazing effort for a lot of people. So.
Yeah, definitely. I really love that kind of mantra of you've got to make a dollar to make a difference, because, sometimes I do hear within the Indigenous business sector, they almost frown upon if you're making too much money or you're not giving back. Yeah. But you do have business. You're not in business if you're not making money.
You've got to make money. That's right.
Well, that's exactly right.
That's what you're in business for. And you get in a business to look after your family and yourself first, and make sure that you can deliver quality healthcare outcomes, economic value to your family and community, and then if you are doing well, then you give back. And we're fortunate enough to start doing some programs throughout WA, and particularly with Spartan First, and exciting to see where that takes us in the future as well.
Yeah, that's probably a good segue to go. What does the future hold? What's the big legacy piece for you?
Yeah, look, we're a national business, and we like to say we're a business first and foremost. It just has to have Aboriginal ownership, So I think the future is depends how you look at it. Where we see ourselves, as I said, as one of the big competitors in the health sector, particularly in the mining sector, government, defence, construction industries. We like to deliver quality healthcare and medical. We also do all your background screening as well, pre-employment. And we also do injuries, so any injury management and work when return to work and workers' comp issues. So we do a bit of a wraparound service, which we built over the last 5 years. But yeah, we've got now nearly 10 medical centres, mostly in WA. We open up in Queensland in November. We've got over 100 affiliate clinics across Australia. So we want to, grow our space into those regions, and then who knows, could be international. You just don't know. You don't know what the future holds, right? You have to have a vision somewhere, and the good thing about what we do is people are getting employed from all over the world to work in WA in particular and in the mining sector, which is our bread and butter. And if we can deliver those medical services and work with other First Nation businesses across the world, then, who knows what Spartan First can do, moving forward.
Sky's the limit. Yeah, well, I haven't heard of anyone that's sort of in another Indigenous business or another Aboriginal-owned business that's in the same space as you.
When we first set up, that is the main reason why we went into it, for procurement, supply nation, and as you know, trying to see where the gap was, and there was no competitors, right? But there's a couple floating around now, and whether that's because they're seeing a similar, that they say that we're doing okay in the industry, and they wanted to try and try and copy and go forward.
Give you a bit of competition there.
That's how the competition is good competition. And it's always good to see how the Aboriginal business is going well. You want to make sure that people, work together. We use affiliate clinics across Australia, and they're all our competitors, if you say. But if there's other Aboriginal-owned businesses that are in that sector, and why not work together and collaborate and try and make a change together. So.
Yeah. So if you had a final message for my audience, you wanted to share something with them, or if you had a couple, what would that be?
You put me on the spot now. Well, look, when I say a couple, my footy background has put me in good stead in terms of your commitment. The old terminologies and footy talks now. The harder you work, the luckier you get, sort of mantras. Yes. So, but I got drafted. I was a year 11 student in high school, so I didn't get to finish high school, and I didn't get to study at university. And but I got taught in the football industry about you got to work harder than anyone else. What people see you behind closed doors is what makes you become a champion. I'm sure Adam Goods would have said those sort of things as well internally, because he was a champion. It was one of the best going around. But look, I just think the harder you work, the luckier you get. You got to put in the effort to get rewarded. So for the audience and for the people listening out there, that's probably, it's simple. That's all I think about every day is what can I do to make myself better? Because if I can make myself better, then I'm making my team better. And the staff that we work towards, and my family as well. So how we can flourish together. I've just started a business with my mum, my dad, and my sister.
Oh, look out!
So we do Marley Swan tours. So give that a bit of a plug. We do cultural tourism on the Derby Yurigan behind us. We've got a 150-seater boat that goes along and cruises along, and it's pretty exciting. So
well, happy for you to give that a plug. So if anyone's here visiting,
anyone coming to Perth, look up Marley Swan Tours, and my sister runs it, which is good. So it's the first time working with family. It's a bit different at times because they're new to the business industry, but really excited to see where that business can take my sister and my dad, particularly, who will work on that day to day, and I just ring up and make contacts and make sure that everything's going well. So, or if the boat's available, can I get on it?
I love that. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you and to have you on the show, and I really love what you just said in regards to the harder you work, the luckier you get. So thanks so much, Des, for coming and joining me.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the latest episode of Meet the Mob, and make sure you connect with Des online. Share his story with your networks. Until next time.